Thank you for joining me today. It's good to see you. And thanks for giving the time just so that others can learn about Children First and the work that you're doing here in Wichita, Kansas. So tell me a little bit about Children First so we can let everyone know a bit about the organization.
Yeah. So our mission is to help children succeed in school. And so I had this vision because I seen this federal grant that said, if you can improve the neighborhood, that the school could improve. And I sure did like that. I thought there was something to that. So I started this vision, and now we're in 8 neighborhoods, low-resourced neighborhoods. And we have social workers who are working with students.
Great. So obviously you got the grant, and I understand you've received a number of other grants as you continue to fund this initiative. Tell me about what led you to use Bridges Out of Poverty model, the Getting Ahead curriculum.
Yeah, so because we have these social workers, we have deep relationships with students, and we got to know their parents, and we got to know the situations that they were in, and trying, as a family living in poverty, and what's that like to try and get your students to school on time, to get them dressed, to get them there. And so our social worker, we had one particular social worker who put a worry box in the principal's office, right? And so students that were worried could put in a note. And so we had a student put in a note, and come to find out is that she was supposed to be asleep, but she heard her mom on the phone, and her mom was sobbing because they were going to lose their housing. All right, they were going to be homeless soon. And of course, the student was worried. And so our social worker jumped into action, right? Like, what's going on? Turns out that she had lost her job, and they were in Section 8 housing, and they had gotten behind in their portion of the rent, right? And so when that happens, is you're in deep trouble, right? Because if you can't afford your Section 8 section, how are you going to afford the whole rent, right? And so the mother was going through mental health crisis now because she was so depressed, not being able to get this money, right? So we understood it. We jumped into gear, right? And we raised $6,000 to help this woman. We got her back rent paid. We got her back utilities. Oh, we did so well, right? We patting ourselves on the back. Oh, look at us, right? 4 months later, we hear that she's in the school office and she can't make her rent. We were shocked, right? Like, oh, we did so good. Well, we didn't really do that good. We lifted some pressure off of her, but we didn't help her get out of poverty. We didn't show her the way. And so we started to look around and say, there has to be a better way. And that's when we discovered Bridges. That's when we discovered Getting Ahead.
Got it. Thank you. And continues. I didn't ask, but I think you've hired more staff as well. So you talk about one social worker, but now do you have 8, 10? How many social workers are now?
We have 8 social workers in neighborhoods. And then we jumped in and with the Getting Ahead initiative, and I started a whole nother division, if you will, that works on poverty and how to get people out of poverty. And we're working on housing issues, Getting Ahead classes. Wow.
Yeah. We always talk about it's not a handout, that it's working shoulder to shoulder. So it sounds like that's kind of where you're headed with the population.
For sure.
So great things happening. Tell me what are the top highlights of what's been going on in the last year, 18 months?
Yeah, so we're still a baby at this. We've only had a couple of classes. We have amazing success stories, which I'll tell you one about here in a little bit. I think what's most proud about that is for us is that we're able to offer it in English and Spanish.
Yeah.
And then we're trying to do something different. We're starting a class pretty soon on a Tuesday kind of late morning, and the reason being is because we recently had a Getting Ahead class in a school, and the janitor would often hear us, and she would come up afterwards, like when we were graduating, and she said, look, I really want to take this class, but I work in the evenings. Yeah, but if you could do like a 10 to noon, I could do this. I could take this class. And so we started to look around a little bit more into this population that we were serving. And there's a lot of Hispanic mothers who are working second shift or third shift, and it could do a mid-morning. And so we're going to try it out. And I think we've already got 10 women signed up for this. And some of the Hispanic families are still a little traditional. And so the husband's off to work. She sends the kids to school. So she's got that 10 to noon time period kind of to herself. Wow, we're going to try it out.
Good. It's amazing how getting ahead, investigators will tell you what they need. And oftentimes it's not hard to fulfill some of those needs that they're asking for. So wonderful.
Yeah.
The flexibility. Yes, just in the flexibility. Good.
Yeah.
On there. All right. So talk with me a little bit about the Kansas Department of Children and Family Services. I think you've been collaborating with them or working on a project.
Yeah. So we have a contract with them now. And so because they knew about getting ahead, and they are excited about the model, but they didn't really have anyone in Wichita that was offering enough classes, I think. But we came along and said, look, we're gonna start offering a lot more classes, and it kind of helped that we had hired someone that newly retired from DCF, so she knew the system, right? So this is an amazing thing, because when they refer one of their clients, they're going to pay for their client to attend Getting Ahead. So it's going to cover the gas card, the what we need expense-wise covered. So we haven't started with them yet, so we now have their schedule to them. But I think others could do that too. Develop a relationship, because that's sustainability, right? Now they say we probably won't fill a whole class, but we'll have 1 or 2 or 3. Well, that's cash. That's cash coming in the organization.
Got it. And collaboration. Kathleen, that's great. There's collaboration that's starting to happen as well here in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Well, talk to me a bit about, as you look ahead, what is the future? What do you think the future looks like? What are the plans?
Yeah, so definitely, raising more money. But also, we want to tap into the AmeriCorps program.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a federal program. It's designed to alleviate poverty, to work on programs that alleviate poverty. And people that are AmeriCorps receive a stipend from the federal government that covers some of their expenses, food, gas, that kind of thing. It's not a job. It is a volunteer opportunity, but there is cash to it. And the really cool thing about it is, after a year of service, there's an end of service award too. So someone that has a student loan could get money paid on that. They put their student loan on hold while they're in this service opportunity. But I want to use this to get more facilitators as a way, like someone that's going to graduate, that person that's just wants to be a facilitator in the future. What a beautiful way to be able to offer them a little cash to help them, do that work with us, to join us, to do that work, maybe to help, recruit other people to come that they know that could benefit. So, and in Wichita, the university holds the grant, and we are a sub-award of that. So they're doing all the paperwork. Hallelujah.
You're a genius for me to see how you're finding money and really making things come together on there. Good. And I know one of your staff is currently going through the Bridges certified training as well, in order to begin to provide the information to community members.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And we're starting more of a collaboration with other folks that are doing Bridges work. And that's super exciting.
Yeah.
And yeah.
My goal is that in another 6 months, we can come back and update everyone on really what's happening here in the city and the collaborations that are really springing up. All right. Any other last minute stories you want to share with us? Anything else that we can pass along so that as others hear this, they'll get a vision of what's happening?
Well, I want to share a story about a gentleman named Raphael.
Okay.
Because this goes to show that. Anyway, I'll tell you the story. so we met Raphael. Our social worker met him because his house had burned down. It was a single dad, 6 children. Great guy, but the house burned down. They tried to live in it. Well, they just couldn't do it. Right? Can't live in a burned down house.
Right.
And so he sadly, he said, what are we going to do? And so different of his children, he got different family members to take this one or this one or this one. Not sad. Not ideal. And Raphael goes to live in his car, and he's there almost a year. And our social worker keeps checking on him, like, hey, are you staying warm in there? Here's a McDonald's dinner. How can I help you? COVID hits, good and bad, right? Good news is more money comes in for rental assistance. And so Raphael is able to get a house, and the children come back to him, but he doesn't have a job yet, right? And so we continue to provide resources to him. We'll pull up with a van full of food, and the children will come out and they rejoice. There's food in the house now, and the little ones are dancing in the driveway. But, like, how can we get you ahead? But he's stable enough. He's in the house. And we talked to him about coming to get ahead class. And so he talks his best friend into coming because his friend has a car, right? And so they start to come together. And so they finish up, and he starts to learn about hidden rules and what it takes to get a job and how the process works. Mid-April, on his birthday, he is starting a job at Spirit Aerosystems. Now, this is a leading manufacturer in Wichita. He'll start at $20 an hour in training. He has a chance to go up to $30 an hour. Wow. And the whole process, there was hidden rules into the whole application process that he was aware of, because we talked to him to look for those hidden rules. Like, one thing is, he said, well, the guy hired me, but when he sent you a contract, he had to sign it, right? He didn't realize that's a hidden rule, right? But he was able to figure it out. He goes, oh, that's a hidden rule for me to get hired by this big corporation. So anyway, he's starting soon, and we are so excited. And we believe that he wouldn't have gotten that far without graduating from Getting Ahead.
Wow. Well, good luck to him and his children, and in stabilizing all of them. Thank you for the story. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're only wanting to share information because we see the great things that are happening with Children First, and also the collaborations that are building. And thank you again just for spending time today talking with me about what's going on in your community.
Thank you.